Hey, everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country. Thanks for joining us on a Monday night. I'm very excited to have my special guest with me tonight. He has got a brand new album. It's called West of Texas, Heartache, Hangovers, and Honky Tonks. And of course, just by the title, you know that's right up our alley here at My Kind of Country. Brand new music. He has wrote or co-wrote every single song on it, and I'm very excited to have him on the show tonight and talk about it. We're going to play a bunch of these songs for you. And the gentleman that is the head of this fabulous group, his name is Jerry Zinn, and it's a pleasure to welcome him to My Kind of Country. Jerry, how are you tonight?
I'm all right. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's an honor to have you. I am very excited about your music, and I've been listening to a lot of it. We've already played some of them on the show, and I'll tell you what, it's just so refreshing. Western Red said it's channeling Bakersfield twang mixed with Texas barroom grit, and I think he just hit the nail on the head there.
Well, yeah, Western Red's great, and I'm glad I was able to have him do the liner notes, and he definitely got what the music is trying to say, I guess.
Absolutely. You know, we were talking before we got on the air that country music is really all about the subject matter and how it touches people, and it's real, and that's something you've really captured. And to me, this album really reminds me of something that could have came out in like 1967, and it's just so well done and so authentic, and it's got a fresh spin on it for today.
Well, thank you, because what's crazy is I always think that between 1966 and 67 were such great music years. So much good stuff came out. And I was actually, when I looked into my album, I'm kind of like, man, I wish I could make it sound more like 1966, But I was certainly trying. I definitely love those country shuffles.
Oh, yeah.
And just, I wanted to try to make a well-rounded album of every kind of style. I mean, I didn't get all of them in, but I certainly tried.
Well, I'd say you did extremely well. It's a fabulous album, and folks, right away I want to let you know you can go to westoftexas.com. That is the website. You can pick up this album. It's just been released, and I do say album. It's also been released on vinyl, and I am very happy to have a copy of that here in my hands, and I highly recommend this to all of my listeners out there. This is a great record, and you're going to want to put it on your turntable. The cover has got a nice gatefold cover, and it looks like a country record. I mean, it's even got a little bit of ring wear that's built in there. And Jerry, tell me about the cover. Your cover reminded me immediately of Porter Wagner's Cold Hard Facts of Life, where he walks into the apartment and his girl is on the couch with another guy.
Yeah, somebody else said that too, and at the time, I don't know if I'd seen that album. My thought was I was trying to do kind of like a Mo Bandy thing, and but there's a lot of great covers from the '60s and '70s that I was trying to think how I could make it look like that, because you look at all those covers and you're like, that's so great, Where today, I think people have gotten a little boring and they're just, staring back at the camera, and that really doesn't tell any kind of a story, Even if somebody photoshopped me, I'm not sure I'd be that great to look at. So I needed to have I wanted to tell a story on the cover, and when I had. The band had told me, when I told them about the cover, they're like, that's not a good idea. We don't think that's going to work. We should just put the logo on the cover. And after I had it printed and everything, then they understood what I was going for and what I was trying to do. And I just don't think that the album would get any attention if it just had the band logo on it.
Yeah,
I think that's very boring. I think it's a cop-out for the band. But, it's trying to tell that country music, story of heartache, of cheating. I want it to look like an old record because I didn't live near my grandparents, and my dad was in the Army. We always moved around, but every time we came to visit my grandparents, my granddad would break out his guitar. And so he sat me on his lap when I was 12 years old, and taught me a couple of chords, but I didn't really care. I wanted to ride my BMX bike when I was 12 years old, you know. But when he passed away, something kind of clicked in me, and I was like, I would like his guitar, you know. And when we were living in Berlin, Germany at the time, and so when we moved back to L.A., we lived with my grandma for a while, and I found my granddad's record collection. So after that record collection, I was hooked, and I just poured through all those records and the covers and everything. And when it came time to make a cover for the album, I was like, I want it to look like those records from that box of records he had, you know. So I want them to look dirty. I want them to have ringwear on them. I wanted to have like little tears, you know, make it look like there was tears in it. I wanted, you know, when you find old records at the thrift store or the pawn shop, whatever, you find somebody's name, or you say, you know, there's something on the jacket that says my favorite song or something like that. So on the back, it says Duke's record. Well, my granddad's nickname was Duke, and so I had my grandma write hit Duke's record on there, and I put that on the back.
Oh, that's
and that
cool.
comes from on one of my granddad's records, my uncle, it was a Speedy West and Jimmy Bryant record, that my uncle must have taken to school because it said his name on it, and it said room number 3. Always thought about that record and the writing on it and everything. And so I'm like, I got to include something like that. But what? And how do I kind of connect that to my granddad? And so that's when I had my grandma write down Duke's record, and I put that on the back like it looked like somebody had written it on there.
That is so cool. Country music covers, and covers in general, is such a big part of the music. And we lost that, you know, when we started in the digital age with downloads and everything. And it's so cool to see that coming back again and people really digging the vinyl again and just, you know, enjoying the whole entire experience of not just listening to the music, but having that, you know, record cover to hold in your hands and look at it. And it helps give the songs more meaning as far as I'm concerned. Wouldn't you agree?
I do. I think, you know, one thing about those records is I love that, you know, I would put the record on, I would sit down, I'd have the cover in my hands, I would just pour over it, you know, take in everything. I'd read the liner notes. I'd read, you know, what DJ or you know, what other artist had wrote the liner notes for that artist. And so I would just read all of that. I'd read who wrote the songs, you know, all just taking it all in. Where, you know, CDs, it is like that to a point. Digital, I think when you download the digital album, that it just kind of, it's like a black hole, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely have digital albums, and I do offer one with the vinyl because you can't play a record in a car. So I got to have it on my phone, you know, so I can listen to it in the car. So
yeah, absolutely. And you do have this available on CD as well. And as you mentioned, there's a download card inside of the record, so you can do both. Absolutely. And I think that it's a wonderful thing to be able to hold this in my hands, and I really want to thank you again for sending the record to me. And we'll make sure we've got a picture. I've got a picture of me holding that record, and we'll make sure we put that on our Facebook page. And I'm just really excited about it. I want to ask you a little bit about your background as far as when you formed this group and when you first started playing music professionally.
I started with the Texas in 2003. It was something that I had been wanting to do 10 years earlier. I just couldn't find the people. You know, all my friends were into, you know, rock or alternative rock. And I would play a country record and they're like, wow, that's really country. You know, they just didn't get it. And I just I just played in rock bands, you know, for a long time because I just couldn't find the people. And it wasn't until I went to San Francisco that I kind of fell into that country. There's a huge San Francisco scene of country music. And a friend said, you got to go see this country band. One of my friends is playing in it, so we went and seen them, and it was a guy named Tom Armstrong. And I was just blown away because I had been thinking for all these years, I would like to do a band that kind of sounds like Buck Owen and Merle Haggard and Georgia Jones and Theron Young and Johnny Bush. And I was like, but I don't understand how to do what they do, you know, and I didn't have any friends that could help me out. But it was kind of that time. I'd been hearing about Dale Watson. I'd been hearing about Red Meat, which is also from San Francisco. So after that, I just started finding all these other bands all of a sudden. And that was probably in 2000, 2001. So when I moved back down to L.A., I'd been talking to an old drummer that played in a rock band with me, and I had told him that I wanted to do it, and he says, you need to do it because your voice is right for you, you know, for country music. And I'd always played, you know, like even when I was in a rock band, I would play like a Willie Nelson song or a Merle Haggard song or something. And so he remembered that, and he's like, you got to do it. Your voice is right for it. And so that's kind of how it started.
Wow. That's really cool. Tell me about some of the other guys that are playing on this record with you.
Well, I had a band, but it was mainly a bass player and a drummer when I started to record it. You know, being in a band is like having 4 other wives.
Yeah.
The problem is they're all guys. They all think you're doing it wrong. They think they have better ideas than you know. And when somebody leaves the band, you have to find the perfect wife the very next day, or you can't play. So that was one hard part for LA. You know, it's just not Texas. It's not Nashville. There's not another guitar player waiting to take the guitar player's place. So it was hard to find people. So I had a bass player and a drummer that were the main part of the band, and I had a few friends that I would have them play lead. So I recorded 3 songs, and that was in 2009. I recorded it. I put it out as the Heartache single because it was supposed to be the single for the album that was supposed to come. And that was released in 2010. After that, the bass player and the drummer left, so I just had all my friends kind of come and help me finish the album. So on the rest of the album, there was Dale Daniel. He played in the Hacienda Brothers. He's also played with a few other bands, Chris Gaffney, too many to name, Dave Serby. There's David Serby actually played. He has his own band, and so he played bass. There's Rob King, which he was in a band called the Western Continental that I would go see when I was starting out, and they just blew me away. I just didn't know how to get to where they were at. The person that plays I guess the most on it is my brother-in-law. His name is Jeremy Long. And when I ran out of money to go back into the studio, I just kind of gave the tracks to him, and he took it home, and he added the guitar, the pedal steel, piano, accordion, and so when you hear all of that stuff, he's basically dueling himself. You know, he just worked it out so he'd play the right part on the guitar, and then went and doubled it on the pedal steel, and just went back and forth on all the instruments himself. And about that time, that was about 2012, I started having some health problems, and I was finding it harder and harder to sing. I have this weird inflammation problem that would swell up my sinuses, so I couldn't breathe through my nose. Then and then I would get a sinus infection. Then the inflammation would travel to my ear canal, close up my ear canal so I couldn't hear anything. And then the inflammation would travel to my lungs, to the air passages in my lungs, and not allow me to breathe. So I stopped playing for a very long time, and the album kind of just kind of stayed undone. And it wasn't until this past summer that I was feeling well enough to be able to sing on it.
Oh, that's great! Wow. Well, so it's definitely been a long labor of love to get this completed.
Yes, definitely. I mean, that's the thing that's weird about it is that I've been sitting on this for a long time, and I didn't really think that anybody would care about it. And the way I explained it to a friend is that you paint a picture, you put it in a closet for 10 years, you take it out and you make one little brush stroke on it, and you put it on Facebook or something, and everybody's like, "You're Picasso," and I'm like, "No, I'm not. I did with some friends for the fun of it."
Awesome. Well, folks, again, the album is West of Texas, Heartache, Hangovers, and Honky Tonks. Westoftexas.com is the website. We will have that all information on our Facebook page, and we're going to play some of these great songs for you tonight. Tell me about some of your favorite tracks on this project. And again, you wrote or co-wrote everything on here.
Yeah. Wow, that's kind of hard. It's kind of picking a favorite child. Well, My Whiskey Life, I really like. How that one came about is I came home from work one day, and my wife said, I read this article called The Best Thing for My Whiskey Life. And she said, read it and write a song, called that. And she said, if you don't write it, I'm going to write it. So I read the article, and I went in the bedroom and wrote the song. And now that the title has been shortened to My Whiskey Life. But that one's kind of special. It's my first Western swing song that I've ever written. And I think the lyrics are great. I don't think that I'm that great of a lyricist, but that one I think is pretty great. The lyrics are, better than most of my songs, I think. Foolin' is one of the first songs I kind of wrote, and when you're trying to find your style for a band, you got to get past like the first 5 or 10 songs to kind of figure out your direction. And when I wrote Foolin', I kind of felt I'd found what I was looking for. I'd found that good shuffle sound. The band was sounding really great doing it. And that's a cheating song that I actually wrote with my wife, which doesn't always happen. But yeah, I think I always walk out. I go in the bedroom, I play, and then I kind of walk out and go, "This is what I got. Here's my new song," and I kind of show my wife. And I think that I kind of showed her Foolin', and I was kind of stuck. And then she started asking me about the story or something, and then we just started passing the notebook back and forth to finish the song off.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. Well, there's some great stuff on here. One of the ones that I like a whole lot is "Darlin', How You've Changed," and it's kind of reminiscent of that Merle Haggard type thing, I think anyway.
Yeah, I was definitely trying to get a little outlaw on that one. Just to, like I said, I'm at the time I was kind of new at trying to figure out how to write these different styles of song.
Yeah.
Once you got the shuffle down, you kind of get stuck, and you just want to keep on writing shuffles, So I was trying to do something different, And I will say, Darlin' How You Change is a true story about some friends of ours.
Oh, wow. That's really awesome. Well, there's some great music on here. And of course, you've got one called the Cheatin', Drinkin', and Hurtin' Song. I mean, that doesn't get any more basic than that.
Yeah, I couldn't make up my mind on the song title. First, it was like a hurtin' song, and it was the cheating song, and it was the drinking song, and then so I just threw them all together. And part of what that song is about is, hearing my grandmother tell me about where her and my granddad used to go see country music at. And it's just strange where she'd say, remember that old building that's down there on that street? That looks like a warehouse or something. And yeah. And she's like, that used to be this place. And then down the street from that, so it talks about all those places going away, and just the way country music has kind of changed a little bit. And just trying to capture the I don't know what the vision. I don't know what word I'm looking for.
Maybe the essence of.
Yeah, of what it used to be a country singer. I guess that's a good word. Thank you.
I totally get that, and I don't think that this could have come along at a better time. Right now is there's been such an upswing in interest in traditional country music and also vinyl, and just kind of going back to the old style way of doing things, because that's really what made country music, and that was the golden era. And so why change something that works so well and has longevity?
Very true. Yes, that's certainly true. And I can't wait to get back in the studio and try some of the techniques that that I've kind of picked up over the years that used to happen in the the 60s and 70s. I definitely have a lot of ideas of what I want to do. So hopefully we can include those in another album.
Well, you're definitely onto something, and I'm very encouraged by what I'm seeing here, and I'm looking forward to playing a bunch of these songs. We're going to play a bunch of the songs off this album tonight. And again, folks, it's West of Texas, Heartache, Hangovers, and Honky Tonks. And you can go to westoftexas.com. We're going to have that information on our Facebook page. And also, I do want to thank Western Red for being such a champion of country music, and he's really promoted this album. And you've had an awful lot of great reviews. I was reading on your website, a lot of the trade publications and different outlets are really just singing the praises of this project, so I commend you for that.
Well, thank you. It's really unbelievable what people are saying about it.
So what's on tap for you this year? Are you doing some show dates? What's happening for you?
Well, the band is fully vaccinated, so we're hoping that band practice will start in the next few weeks, maybe a month. California is looking pretty good with COVID and everything. All the numbers are coming down, so it's still a toss-up of what's going to happen. Can we keep this thing? Can we get rid of this thing? Can we keep the numbers coming down? I am playing a solo thing just with my guitar player on the 27th of May, but it's just sort of a low-key thing, and hopefully that will kind of get the wheels greased a little bit, for what's to come next. Hopefully clubs will start opening up and we can get back to playing. But I don't see a world tour happening or anything, but I do anticipate going up the West Coast and going all the way to Austin, going to Vegas. Hopefully at some point we can make it to Nashville. But for now, I think it's just a wait and see how things... you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself and have to cancel all your plans because there's been an outbreak again,
Right, absolutely. Well, folks, you can go to westoftexas.com, and if you get a chance to go see this fabulous group, please do so. And in the meantime, I highly recommend picking up their music, especially the vinyl. I think it's a well worth album to have in your collection, and I'm very proud to have it in mine. And it's going to get a lot of spins on my turntable and a lot of plays on my kind of country. And Jerry, I really want to thank you for taking time to be on the show, and please keep me posted. And we are always here to help promote if we can do it, and your music will always have a home here on my kind of country.
Oh, thank you so much, Scott. It means a lot.
All right, here is some fabulous music from Heartache, Hangovers, and Honky Tonks west of Texas, and you're going to love this. This is truly my kind of country as we continue. Jerry, thanks again.
Thank you.
These are my 12 steps to drinking, so bartender set 'em up. I've been sober for way too long, and I swear I've had enough. I'll drink a toast to the wagon as I burn it to the ground. Yeah, tonight I'm gonna lose my mind. Well, I realize you had too much power over me, but I walked your straight and narrow for way too long. The peace of mind I hold dear, you chip away. And I searched for every reason, but I can't find a damn one to stay. These are my 12 steps to drinking, so bartender set 'em up. I've been sober for way too long, and I swear I've had enough. I'll drink a toast to the wagon as I burn it to the ground. Yeah, tonight I'm gonna lose my mind. Well, you ain't always right, and I ain't always wrong. The house is only empty when you're home. You plant a seed and you gotta wait for something nice to grow. But I gone gray waiting for the years to pass, and darling, I gotta let you know. These are my 12 steps to drinking, so bartender set 'em up. I've been sober for way too long, and I swear I've had enough. I'll drink a toast to the wagon as I burn it to the ground. Yeah, tonight I'm gonna lose my mind. Here bar stool that I left sad and lonesome a long time ago. But a couple of those highballs and a couple of those beers, they were old pals again, sweet mama, and I gotta let you know. These are my 12 steps to drinking, so bartender set 'em up. I've been sober for way too long, and I swear I've had enough. I'll drink a toast to the wagon as I burn it to the ground. Yeah, tonight I'm gonna lose my mind. Yeah, tonight I'm gonna drink until I lose my mind. These are my 12 steps to drinking. Off with that other man, and you're up to no good, and I don't quite understand. Turn the lights down low so I don't have to hide my tears. I'm better off right here in the darkness of my room. That's the sound of my heart breaking. And I'll never ever love another. I know I've said this before, and I won't let it happen again. She's the one I can't have. I'll count my aches and pain, and I hide my head in shame. Turn the lights down low so I don't have to hide my tears. I'm better off right here in the darkness of my room. That's the sound of my heart breaking. And I'll never ever love another. I know I said this before, and I won't let it happen again. That's the sound of my heart breaking. And I'll never ever love another. I know I said this before, and I won't let it happen again. No, I won't let it happen again. Give me a legend singing a good old country song. One about cheating so I can cheat alone. Well, the soul of a singer don't mean the same today, when all the honky tonks have dried up and gone away. Give me a beer that I can cry myself into. How about an old hardwood floor so I can move? Let me tiptoe and shovel my feet. Play a drinking song so I can really drink. Well, give me a sad song or a waltz so I can hold you close. Let the jukebox play one before I go. Give me some lying, dying, crying, and killing too. That's how I know this hurting song is true. Me. Just let her have a sweet smile and cater to me. Give me a bed so I can lay my head down. How about a hangover that won't hurt when I hit the ground? Give me a beer that I can cry myself into. How about an old hardwood floor so I can move? Let me tiptoe and shuffle my feet. Play a drinking song so I can really drink. to the next guy. We're gonna find the one to love with the heart so true. And you be the fool. And I can't, no I can't go on any longer. And you won't, no you won't ever change your ways. So go on and find your next fool. Foolin', foolin', that's right. She fooled my heart, but never again. Foolin', foolin', that's right. She said she's sorry and she's still foolin'. She said she's sorry, but she's still foolin', foolin', You came to me when no one else would, and just a taste of my lips cures my every pain. And when that last drop of amber waves comes crashing down on me, well, I find myself in a bliss I've never known. It was a bottle's kiss that wouldn't leave me alone. There was a time when I didn't touch the stuff, and that's when that whiskey river ran dry. Well, I tried so many drinks, and just to think about what I'd miss without Jim and Jack and Jameson. You were the best thing of my whiskey life. Well, I fought so hard until I gave in. It was the devil's horns and perhaps his grin. And when he laid his hands upon my head and my lips hit that glass of sin, well, I found myself in a bliss I've never known. It was a bottle's kiss that wouldn't leave me alone. There was a time when I didn't touch the stuff, and that's when that whiskey river ran dry. Well, I tried so many drinks, it's just to think about what I missed without Jim, Jack, and James.